Welcome back, class. Let me tell you a little story. On the morning of November 8th, 2016, Hillary Clinton supporters be like this. And by midnight, they be like this. Yep. Things didn't go as many thought, and most Americans are pretty bummed about it. I say most because, as it turns out, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but lost the electoral vote and therefore the election itself. And this is the 5th time this has happened in American history. It's actually the 2nd time it's happened since Law and Order Special Victims Unit has been on the air. And many a disappointed voter has gone to social media to complain about the Byzantine system that is the Electoral College. I have a slightly better solution. Okay, you ready? First, go to your bathroom. Okay. Second, lift up the toilet seat. Yeah. Now third, dunk your head in and scream. Do you feel better? No? Well, it's just as effective as your all-caps rant that would have never existed if Hillary Clinton had won. Do you have a right to be angry? Of course you do. I'm not saying that you don't. What I am saying is that if you want to abolish the Electoral College, well, you better start thinking with your head and strapping yourself in for the long haul. By the way, if you're not sure how the Electoral College works, go to one of these videos here, check it out, and hurry back, okay? If you want to get rid of the Electoral College, you're gonna need a constitutional amendment. There's no other way around it. It's all up in Article 2, Section 1. Now, there are 2 ways to get an amendment passed, but it's pretty difficult. That's why there's only 27 amendments. The first option we'll talk about starts with the states. Right off the bat, you're gonna need 2/3 of the states to come together in a special constitutional convention to propose the amendment, and even if you get past that, you're gonna need another 3/4 of the state legislatures to ratify it. Well, this is gonna be what we call hard to impossible. Why? Well, out of the 27 amendments we have, none have ever been passed this way, and also you're requiring many states to actively make themselves weaker in a presidential election. What do I mean? The number of electoral votes a state gets is determined by its representation in Congress. Everybody has 2 senators, so 2 votes, and your smallest state has 1 rep, so 1 additional vote there. Throw in 3 electoral votes for DC, and you have a total of 538 electoral votes. And because of this allocation method, many small states are overrepresented. Now, going by the 2010 census, and this is part of the reason that we have a census, there are 308 million Americans. I know that number is off, but those are the numbers that we work with until 2020. Now, if electoral votes were proportionally distributed, that would mean 1 electoral vote per 572,490 people. But they aren't proportionally distributed, and that means that 33 out of the 50 states plus DC receive more representation than they should. That's 2/3 of states that are overrepresented in the Electoral College. You think you're gonna get 2/3 of them to call a constitutional convention and then 3/4 of them to ratify it? The second and relatively more likely method is to get 2/3 of the House of Representatives and 2/3 of the Senate to approve your proposed amendment and then send it to the states for 3/4 approval. And what makes this more likely? Well, the amount of people you need to convince in order to get it going. Instead of trying to sway literally thousands of state legislators, you would have to get 67 senators and 290 representatives on your side. Getting them on board would display that this is the will of the people and make it easier for you to get your 3/4 state ratification. This wouldn't be easy, and you know what? It's not supposed to be. It's a constitutional amendment. Now, if you wanted it, what would you need to do? Well, you need to make sure that your congressman knows that this is an issue that they must address in order to get your vote. Abolishing the Electoral College was a complete non-issue in this election until it was too late. If you want this, you need to start now. If you like your congressman, you need to be writing them every single week saying that if they want your vote again, they need to be pushing for this, and make sure any new contenders know that as well. And this should not just be a Democrat Party issue, this should be an issue for everyone. The obstruction of direct democracy in our system should be for Republicans and independents as as well. And please, both sides, you gotta stop unfriending people that have contrary political beliefs, because if we're gonna make it better, we're all gonna need to do this together. And don't worry about the president-elect. He doesn't have any checks and balances powers here, and plus, didn't he admit that the system is rigged anyway? Will this ever get done? I can't tell you. Should this get done? That's something you should tell me down in the comments. Please keep it civil. But complaining about it after the election is like a student that asks for extra help after the test. If you want it, you better learn and remember your lesson and start studying now, because midterms are right around the corner. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can always support me on Patreon. Get involved in your government. Be safe. I'll see you next time.